Hi, this is Mark again. Welcome to my first Monday message from my YouTube channel, Inspiration Point 2020. In my first broadcast I mentioned, and I'll just reiterate this and paraphrase this briefly, about 10 years ago, maybe even more than that, I started sending inspirational and motivational messages to people on a Monday and a Friday. I did it on a Monday basically to welcome in the week, and I did it on a Friday mainly to round off the week, to help us segue into the weekend. I didn't know what I was doing. I was texting. I still do it. This is my first YouTube one. But I would find inspiration from people that I like to read. For example, I've been reading and studying Albert Einstein for over 40 years. I would find Einstein quotes, or I would find lyrics from songs, or I would find lines from movies, or I would sometimes it's something really funny, like what my sons say, because laughter and humor is probably the best therapy there is. And people started to really like these things, so much so that people would call me or text me. Say for example, it was like 8 or 9 o'clock on a Monday morning or a Friday morning. They text me and say, "Hey Mark, are you okay? Is everything all right? We haven't got the message yet. We wanted to know that you were okay. We were expecting it, now we haven't had it." I even had one person text me recently and said he was distressed because he didn't get my message yet. So I had no idea that the impact that this would have. It's actually quite wonderful, and it seems to motivate, and it seems to inspire, and it seems to help people. And especially in this time, in these uncertain times, this is what I really want to do. I've been doing it, as I said, for a long time on a Monday and a Friday. And sometimes I'll pick a theme. For example, I will find something, or something will come to me, and I'll put it on the Monday, and then everybody will like it so much that I will work the same theme on a Friday. It just depends what comes to me. I would also like to take comments on these, because I will reply to them and I will respond to them, because I always do. Up to now I've been doing it in text or WhatsApp messages. So let me explain today's message. It actually is directly related to COVID-19 and the coronavirus. When I look at the people on my message list, a lot of them are from the United States, all over the United States, a bunch of different states. But there's also a lot of people in South Africa, from my home country of South Africa. There are also people in Israel that respond, Canada, Australia. It's actually quite amazing. The quote that I'm using today was from a good friend in South Africa. And I noticed that she had this on her profile, her WhatsApp profile. And I will always give credit to the quotes, of where the quotes come from, or who wrote them, or who mentioned them. And a lot of times, if I have a date, I can use that too. So this quote appeared on the profile, and it gave the name of the person and the quote. So I'm using it because it is so relevant and pertaining to what is going on right now. I'm building up to the quote here. So it is very difficult for all of us to self-isolate, to stay at home, to not be around people, to not be in our regular routines. So there's reasons for everything, and we're not sure yet why this is all happening. And maybe in the next few months we will discover what is going on. But the difficulties that we are facing is it'll be resolved, and we will realize what was going on. It is so difficult to stay at home and to not have our safe places. For example, my safe place is in the swimming pool. And coming on Tuesday, today is Sunday, coming on Tuesday will be 3 weeks since I was able to go to the swimming pool. Obviously closed down because of COVID-19. So, given all of this, and the self-isolation, social distancing, etc., the quote is by Jennifer Wagner, and it says the following: and the world came together as the people stayed apart. It's a beautiful quote, and it's perfect given the circumstances of today. It's almost like this virus is telling us that we can be together as a people even though we are meant to stay apart. We're actually very fortunate in that, given social media, given the way we can video, the way we can FaceTime, the way we can text, the way we can email, we are in constant contact with people all around the world. This is vital. I remember first coming to this country, it was in 1983, this country being the United States. Not being able to communicate with my family was terrible. We had the phone, and I would talk to them on the phone once a week. There was no email, there was no texting, there was no WhatsApp, there was no FaceTime. And we would send audio cassettes back and forward. I would talk for an hour, I would take notes, I would talk for an hour, I would catch them up on things that were going on at the university where I was studying, where I was swimming, and they would reply, they would send a tape back. That would take 3 weeks at the best. For example, if I finished a tape today on a Monday and I went to the post office and I mailed it on a Tuesday, it may take a week to 10 days for them to get it. They would listen to it right away, they would respond, they would get it back the next day. It would maybe take a week to 10 days for me to receive it. It would sometimes be 21 or more days before I would get a reply. Today we don't have that. We're very, very fortunate. I believe the world is coming together as we are staying apart. I believe that we will be stronger for this, and I believe that we will come through this okay. I think we need to realize that we all need to slow down. We need to spend this time with our families. We need to reflect. We need to relax. We need to try to do things as we can. We need to reconnect, not only to our families and to society, but most importantly to ourselves. Because coming through this, especially the first responders who are suffering so much, and the people who have this virus, there has to be a reconnection, and there's going to be a reconnection with our regular routines and our regular lives, even though right now we don't know what they are. Please send your comments. I will gladly respond to them, and I welcome them. I always finish this way, that what my little boy did. If it's all good, please let me know. Please subscribe, or subscribe as he says, and please give me a thumbs up. That's his direct writing. Thank you. Strength to you all.